Well, morning everyone. I'll also use my state-of-the-art iPad. My name's Larry Stone from BT. Thanks to Sabine and thanks to EIF for the opportunity. A very quick word about BT. We're the main UK fixed telecom operator. We have a massive footprint in Wi-Fi, but we're also in 170 countries around the world offering enterprise services. We also supplied services to the European Parliament and to the European Commission, so I hope they work. But not yet to the ITU. So I'll be talking to Yaroslav later about that, if that's okay. Maybe I should start with a confession. I think BT has engaged insufficiently in the global policy debates in the sector. National, yes. EC, yes. FCC, yes. ITU, IGF, etc. only sporadically. Our main ITU effort has been on standards and on radio spectrum issues, but we need to broaden that. We will have two people at the WTPF and the simultaneous WSIS plus 10 meeting in Geneva. We did work hard with the UK government and others on the Wicket in Dubai. That event, which seemed at least to some extent on internet or quasi-internet issues to split 55 members from 89, raise the revision of the ITR's treaty, really brought home to us the importance of the process going forward. So why do we think it's important? Well, the WTPF in mid-May will focus to some extent on internet governance. The outputs aren't binding, but they are trend-setting, as the Secretary-General mentioned, towards the 2014 ITU plenipotentiary. I think also because many big ICT sector issues are of global scope and need policymakers to talk to each other globally. Just as has happened, for example, to different levels of effectiveness on trade, on financial sector governance, on climate change, for example. This doesn't mean global regulators or global regulation, but it does mean a need to discuss norms and approaches and principles which can be shared and, where suitable, applied country by country. A few examples: cloud computing, data protection, transborder data flows, cybersecurity, cybercrime, online child protection. I think increasingly also the likely patchwork and concepts in some of these areas, not least in relation to ICT market access, that may emerge from the spider's web of the ever-growing trade bilaterals by the US, by Japan, by the EU, for example, and how those all fit together in the ICT chapter context. So these are legitimate areas for the WTPF to debate and to offer opinions on, as the Secretary-General has mentioned, and to deepen the exchange of best practice between all actors. So too on the technology, on internet exchange points and the move to IPv6, and on human capacity building. The UK government has recognised this, I think perhaps a little belatedly. It's an austere time for officialdom generally, and it has set up a multi-stakeholder group on internet governance. I think that next meets, or perhaps even first meets, on the 3rd of May, but at least it meets before the WTPF. We also need a structured debate. Behind all this worthy activity, we need to remember that the ICT sector is an engine of growth through supporting all business and public sectors and through helping development around the world. It helps to deliver jobs, growth and competitiveness. Innovation is rarely accelerated by regulation, sometimes can be on relation to standards. We need a basic level, best efforts internet with safeguards, for example, the UK Code of Practice on network management, transparency and related matters. But we also need the ability to develop innovative, differentiated services and new business models. So regulation should always be the minimum necessary to meet legitimate public policy goals, for example, security, crime, avoidance of monopoly, light touch regulation. I think also there's a complex continuum of issues here, from cybersecurity to DP to network management to the human rights to freedom of expression and to privacy, allied to the pervasive nature and power of the internet. This means that the multi-stakeholder approach, enhanced where needed, has never been more important and needs to be fit for purpose. We do not need regulation of commercial peering or related business models. We need an internet subject to appropriate light touch regulation aimed at fostering innovation and growth, and also subject to a to a focused and efficient dialogue at the global level, such as through the ITU, targeted at the spread of best policy and technology practice and at building the human capacity to take the internet forward. Finally, a plea also for helping people through the complexity. There are many government bodies, national and supranational levels, and many NGOs and various other internet bodies involved in all this. So publishing a simple roadmap, maybe someone has, on who does what, would certainly help engage the wider stakeholders. Also, perhaps some better understanding on how internet matters are discussed across the various UN bodies to achieve some form of rational consensus, the Human Rights Council, ITU, WIPO, UNESCO, etc. How does it all come together? Does it all come together? And finally, just an exhortation. We've come to the party later than we should on this, but I would urge all businesses that can to very much get involved. So, thank you very much.